Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have an exciting one. We're going to be installing some LED strips on the stage. So if you're following along, we are back at the church and I have some LED strips here that Alitove has graciously helped me out with, as well as Muzata, who has provided the LED diffusers for this project. This should be very exciting, so let's get started. So right here we have 12 of these WS2812B strips that have 144 LEDs per meter. These are all black strips. And then we have 3 8-amp power supplies that's going to just restock the shelf, basically, of power supplies here. And then finally, we have these 2 packages here from Muzata, who has provided these 6-pack of these LED diffusers. Because Alitove does not make diffusers, I have chosen to go with my favorite diffusers, which is Muzata. They are my only provider for diffusers at this point. They make very cheap, very cost-effective diffusers that work very well and that look really good with these LED strips here. I've chosen to go with Alitove LEDs because they provide fantastic power supplies. Their LEDs, if you saw my video recently of the Christmas lights that we had up on the stage, the Alitove LEDs looked really good. So I'm really excited to try these out and show you guys all that there is to know about these Alitove LEDs. So without further ado, let's get this project going. Let's get these on the stage. So let's take a look at one of these bags of LEDs. Right off the bat, you can see that there is adhesive. I believe this is genuine 3M adhesive, which is really nice. These strips that I had been using in the past had very questionable adhesive, and sometimes they would fall off, so they were not the best product ever. But these have very nice wires on them. You can see they are very stiff, and you do have your separate power injection wires if needed. With these 144 LED per meter strips, you do need to do some power injection at the beginning and the end, so you'll see how I'm doing that here shortly. So this is what the strip looks like. In the bag of the diffusers, we have some hardware to mount them and to put the caps on the ends of these things. And then we have all 6 of the diffusers in their plastic shells on them as well. So the setup of this is going to be pretty simple, and you'll see exactly how I'm doing it here in a second. Essentially, we have the diffuser strips here, and it is most basic level. It is literally just going to be these LED strips put into the diffuser strips, obviously with the adhesive. And then these diffusers will go on the stage with the cover on them as well. And they will all look very nice. So let's get started. Okay, so the LED strip is now installed into the diffuser, and I'm pushing down on the LEDs to make them fit nicely and stick all the way down. This adhesive is already really good from what I can tell. The quality of the adhesive is very nice, and the purpose of this video is for me to not advertise these companies necessarily. I'm trying to show you a cool project I'm doing on the stage, but I'm showing you the tools that I'm using to get that done in the process. And although these companies did help me out with this stuff, I still paid for some of it, and they're not paying me to say anything specific about their products. So the diffuser channels essentially just click in. You can kind of see when I push down on there, they will click into place. And you kind of just work your finger down on this to kind of snap the rest of it in. And then once you're done with that, then you can go, and there's a plastic peel that is on these diffusers, just like so. And you can pull that off. So this is what a finished product looks like. It's very easy to make, obviously. We have the injection connection for the data line and power and the output from that. There's no output of power on these, which is interesting. You can only inject on the input, but that is okay. I will show you an easy alternative to that here in a second. The thing with the diffusers, though, is you cannot technically put these on with the strip on at the same time because the wires actually come through the end of it. So I am not going to be using the caps or the mounting hardware for these in this video. You'll see in a second, I actually custom 3D printed a LED clip for these. So these diffusers will actually clip into that and clip onto the trusses on the stage. So let's go take a look at that. Okay, so we have made it onto the stage, and let's take a look at these clips. And you'll see this is what the clip looks like. My friend designed it. And essentially it is just a zip tie that routes through the back of it and plugs back into itself. And there's a little bit of a extrusion here to allow the strip to not be touching the bar, but to be out a little bit. So essentially all that's going to happen is these strips are going to be placed into these clips just like this and pushed in, that way they stay. And then for this position over here, this is actually what the clips are designed for, a horizontal bar, and you'll see these actually fit a little bit better in here. There's a little bit of a groove that these fit in on the bars. I have these cables coming already for the plugs for the LEDs. So essentially all we need to do is line this up, if I can, and just push in to get it to stay in there. And you'll see there's some kind of movement there. You can kind of move it around and adjust it as you need. It's pretty flexible though. So then I'm just going to plug this into the wire there, and you'll see that we are now plugged in. So you'll also see these power injection wires are not being used because they're actually not necessary in this situation. It is ideal to power inject, but I am not power injecting right now. And when I do the power injection, I will actually plug it into the output of the strip. That way the power is being fed from both sides of the LED strip. And an example of this is this adapter you can solder together yourself. So essentially it's taking this barrel jack from the power supply, from one of these Alitove power supplies back there. It's taking that, and I soldered it to the white and the red pins of these connections. And you can buy these just on Amazon. So I'm just buying this connector right here that will actually plug into the end of the strip and just provide the power going back into it. And you can run this off of a split of your primary power supply, or you can have a secondary power supply right here, providing additional power as well. So that's the nice thing about the DC voltage, is you can kind of just add to it as needed. And I wouldn't go crazy with the additions and stuff, but that is an option available for you to do that. In the bag, they also include these plugs. This is the opposite of what you need for the power injection thing I just showed you, but this isn't for your LED controller. So you can wire this up. You can wire the green line right here up to your controller, the black to your ground, and the red to the positive 5-volt connection to power these strips. I'm going to proceed with creating all of these LED diffusion strips, and I will be back. All right, so after working for a while on this, I was able to get these LEDs set up right here. You'll see we've got 11 of them there, and that is just because that last one is up on the stage already. So I'm going to take these down, and we're going to set these up on the stage, and then I will show you how they are configured in WLED, because I think WLED is a really sweet LED software. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so you'll see the cables plugged into the controller up here, connected to the LED bar that goes all the way down here, just like so. Okay, so I've gotten all of the LEDs installed. You'll see there's the 4 right there, the 4 right there. The last 4 on the back, I am still waiting to install those till I get a better plan on how I'm going to hang those from the wall. But until then, you'll see here that if we execute this fade command, you'll see they all fade on and they all work as expected. Additionally, you'll see these light fixtures are pretty bright. In comparison to the stage lighting that is on right now, they may look a little dim, but this is 100% brightness here. And if I dim the stage lighting, you will see that these do actually get very bright, and they light up the room enough to be able to see your way around. So I think they are doing their job, and they are very good lights. It's going to be very hard for me to show you on camera, but the colors on these strips look very good. And especially if we hit them with the all white look, it does get pretty bright out here. Like I said, kind of enough to see your way around. If we try out some pixel mapping, you'll see that they look very nice with individual LEDs on as well. So you'll see an effect like this will light up certain sections of the strip. And even an effect like this also, not all of them is on. One thing I like is, especially in these diffusers, you'll see that they kind of fade on. You know, see the light is kind of less harsh than it would be if the LED strip was just exposed. On a look like this, these look phenomenal, especially like I said with the diffusers. And the diffusers look good even for a look kind of like this as well, where you're playing kind of a nice video with a some flashing on it as well. You'll see some hot spots on the lights. You can still tell where they are through the diffuser, which is really nice. That's one of the things I like about these diffusers. If we go into like a blue look, kind of like this, you'll see that they dim very nicely. So that's pretty much what there is to it. I'm going to, like I said, work on getting the other ones installed, hanging from the ceiling. But for now, this is all that we've got. These look very solid. I'm very impressed with the colors on them. It is a noticeable difference between other companies. And I do like the adhesive on these things as well. They stick very nicely onto the diffuser tubes, and everything is rock solid. So like I did say, I would go into the LED configuration on WLED. So let's do that right now. So you'll see that WLED is receiving data from 10.200.14.3. If we go into our configuration here, you'll go to LED preferences, and these are just set up for standard lights. So they look kind of like this. So it will be a GRB light. It is WS281X. GPIO pins is just depends on your configuration. The length right here, obviously 144 because there's 144 LEDs per strip. And you could skip some first LEDs. You could still refresh when it's off, or you could reverse the strip. So that's kind of what that option gives you on the controller basis. But if you go to config and you go to sync interfaces, I'm doing the DMX input over the network from streaming ACN using multicast, skipping out of sync modes packets, and we're using the multi-RGB mode, which if you go into something like NTEC Light Mapper right here, you'll see that we have these strips configured, and we're able to play media off of the LED strips. And this is just, if you go to your stages, this is essentially what this looks like on there, and this is just outputting on the different streaming ACN universes for these fixtures to be able to receive on and play essentially just a video file or play an NDI source on these LEDs. So WLED makes it really easy to use these LEDs. And if you guys want to check out Alitove or Muzata, they make great products, and I will leave their links down in the description below. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, please leave a comment down below as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. I will see you all in the next video.